See, like, from afar, we look like a beautiful shooting star, like a comet in the sky. Up close, dumpster fire on wheels. So, welcome back to another episode of Nerds Around, another creative series. I am your host, Sebastian.
It's your boy Law.
And your boy Tone from across the hall.
And today we have with us...
Hi, this is SeanLuc. How you doing?
Sean, how you doing today?
Oh my God, I'm exhausted, man. First of all, you are way too far away from where I live. Okay, you are like Xanarkand.
To be fair, we all live in the Bronx, so you live mad far. Wherever you are, you live way too far.
Where do you live?
I live in Brooklyn.
Oh,
Damn!
Yo, I work in Brooklyn.
Nah,
But you have the furthest journey.
yes.
yo,
Yes, I have the furthest journey of this entire group right now because, I live in the same building on the same floor directly across the hall.
So, Sean, tell us a little bit about yourself, brother.
Well, I'm a content creator. I work with Sketchfed Studios with my boy Charlie Williams. I host the Geektopians YouTube channel. I host the Quicktopians YouTube channel. Well, YouTube videos with Geek, and do two podcasts, actually. I do G is for Geek podcast and the Into the Dicebox Slam podcast, which is a D&D/wrestling podcast.
Ooh.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, we got the time to talk to him.
yeah. I mean, we as a group just got into D&D, so we're all like super hype.
If it helps, I also just got into this.
Oh, okay.
My character is a Genosai fire sorcerer.
Oh, nice.
He goes by the name Levicius. Right, and basically right now we're still building on the characters, but for right now I'm this mysterious guy that came from a faraway land and who speaks with an accent like this. But soon the party will know that this accent's completely fake, right? Nice. And I'm actually from the sort of like a Brooklyn-like town. Yeah, so right now it's just gonna be it's off the walls, it's bonkers. We do a lot of like different characters to emulate wrestlers and things like that.
Okay. Do you guys play in person? You guys play online?
So me and my roommate we play together, and then the other three party members, right, total, the other three characters, I should say, do it through Facebook chat.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
so
cool.
It's a lot easier that way, so that everyone can talk at the same time and whatnot.
Yeah.
And what was the origins of Geektopians?
The origins was actually from a podcast. We did G is for Geek. We've been doing that for now going on 3 years from different platforms.
What came first? Like, out of all the stuff that you do, what came first?
The podcast.
Okay.
The G is for Geek podcast is something that me and my boy Charles started about 3 years ago, right after Comic-Con, because we were like, yo, we want to do a podcast. We don't have like co-hosts. So you were like, you know what, let's do it. We had a hosting site at the time. Right, and that hosting site let us just go with it and just roll with it, and it was fun. We had so much fun, and then we decided. My boy Charles decided that he didn't want to work with the other company. He wanted to start his own business. He wanted to grow on his own. He wanted to build. So I was like, you know what? I'm with it. Let's grow together. Let's build together. Let's keep doing this stuff. So from then on, we started like building. We started buying cameras, started buying, the lighting equipment, stuff like that. And we just started doing test footage after test footage. Eventually, one time, I was just like, you know what? I want to do a show that mimics a lot of the late night shows, a lot of the like YouTube, like informational personas, but have a little fun with it. Make it geek oriented. So that's how Geektopians started. It originally started as con reviews, but eventually it turned into one of those things where it's like, you know what? Let me do a show that's informative. Let me inform people something. My first episode was toxic bullying and how it came about.
That was a really good episode, by the way.
And how it came out, how it did. And then that kind of was the catalyst for every episode thereafter. The episode I'm currently working on right now is sort of like the history of geekdom. But it's sort of like what I always call a sliver of it, because I'm only going to be really talking about TVs and movies. We got the books, we got everything like that, and that kind of stuff, right? And I just talk about a sliver of it, and I know even that like took me forever, because you want to please the fans. You want to know that the fans want to hear their favorite show or their favorite topic, and when you don't, there's always some kind of person that's arguing about it or whatever the case may be. So I'm just like, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to roll with it.
How much research do you put into that? So if you're just from the perspective you're going from, It seems like you get a lot to kind of fill that airspace. And to make
So
sure
whenever I do the writing, because we actually had 2 other people write in the beginning because it was just overwhelming.
How big is the team?
It's right now. It's a team of 3.
Okay.
Right, it's just 3 people. Then we have like a couple of people come in that help us, like put up stuff and like PAs, if you will.
Okay.
Right,
Nice.
that help us and do the stuff like that. But for right now, the core members are 3.
Okay.
And they usually help to write and things like that. They do the research, and sometimes even when they do the research, I have to research behind them, because sometimes what they do, like what they see, may not be what I see and stuff like that. So we have to always check our sources, if you will.
Right.
So we're looking at least in a 15-minute episode, I say about 5 to 10 hours of research minimum, and about a good 2 to 3 hours of script writing, and then another 3 hours of filming. Because one of the things I also like to do is interview artists, and you know this. And I like to interview artists because they are the backbone of what this industry is. They are the ones that either independently or with a company bring our characters to life, so to speak. And they're the ones that I want to truly hear from and get inspired from. One of the people I did get enjoy from the same fanfare was, I think his name is Bob Camp. Or Bob Camp.
Oh, yeah.
Bob Camp is awesome.
I've met him a few times. He's so nice, man.
Yes.
He actually embraces technology. He's not a fan of like properties and stuff like that, because over the years, when you own something, you just want to hold on to it, right? But he understands it's a young man's game now, right? The digital platforms and things like that, and his thing is always just go out there and you'll have a better chance of being an independent artist now than you've ever had before, and so take advantage of that. There was a moment during New York Comic-Con where Joe Manganiello, walked right past us as I was fooling around with the mic tests, I'm going like this, and he just comes out of nowhere. If you smell, I was like, what?
Do you have it recorded?
No, the audio was off. The audio was off. Right now, we're also working on another show that just deals with music and things like that.
Okay.
We're going to build more into short sketches. Right now, we just started, I don't know if you saw it, we just started building our fake wrestling fed. Right? I don't know if you saw it.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yo, you have to see the promo.
You
have to see the promo I did. Because, as a former wrestler, I wanted to do something like this. I wanted to go into the wrestling game, but not do what everybody else does, but rather just have fun with it on our own. So we created SFW, Sketchfed Wrestling, and we're cutting these big promos, right? And we're amping it up for a wrestling match, and let's see where this goes, where this takes us. Apparently, from the first 2 promos that we hit, we're already getting positive feedback, and where they want to see more, and so we're gonna just keep doing that. I was in the indies for a couple of years. I would never say I'm good at it. I was good, right? I went through some training. I never went through all the proper channels and stuff like that, but for the time that I was wrestling, I did have the most fun I've ever had. I had good matches. I had good feuds. My wrestling name was the Latin Lover, Sean Rivera.
You have to look that up, man.
I feel like you sound like Val Venix's protege.
Sort of. It's something like that. It was just the whole me being a proud Puerto Rican, loving the ladies, having them come.
What was your intro song?
It was a freestyle song, believe it or not.
Oh,
it was a freestyle Puerto Rican.
Yes. Yo.
It was a freestyle song. It was called Latin Love. And my theme was more over than I was. Okay, that's how the theme was going.
That's
That's funny.
When I first encountered LARPers, I was back in college at Purchase, where me and Larice went, and it was the most bizarre thing to me, because it was
The Bronx guy being introduced to LARPing. That must have been fun.
right. You know what I mean? Like, we're all
See, that's a topic right there.
We're there.
That's a topic.
We're in humanities playing shock laser tag with each other,
Yeah.
and then you just see LARPers like passing through, and we're just like,
Who dost thou pass in thy kingdom?
yes, yeah, exactly like that.
There's this big divide in the communities. There's a divide between the gaming community, the comic community, wrestling, and Harry Potter community. There's this divide. And, we always tell people, look, we're all in the same community. We're all being shunned by the outside world.
Right.
We're all being dealt with people that say, ew, you still watch that? Or, ew, you still play that? right?
So far, what has been because you do a lot of interviews with people, what has been some of your favorite experiences at cons and everything?
So, can I say favorite bad?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Oh, yes.
Go
Have
ahead.
fun.
So I
enjoy this
recently,
one.
and I have to, and I know I'm gonna be like shot down to hell for this, but I don't care. The most recent interview I did that was hilarious, but also cringeworthy as hell, was the one I did with